Hi everyone, welcome to course on mechanics of solid 2. Today is our first class and I would like to introduce this course to you. Just give you a brief review of what is about to come in this course. First of all, let us outline what is going to be the agenda of this session. We will start with introduction of myself, then move on to course contents. Course outcomes and objectives will come later. Subsequently, the grading policy, assignments, examinations will be discussed. And finally, textbook and references for this course will be discussed. So, a brief introduction about myself. My name is Dr. Azam Khan. I'm an associate professor of structure mechanics. I've got around about 10 years of industry experience. I've worked in structure engineering industry of United Kingdom and around about 5 years of teaching experience at NUST, Islamabad campus. I've mainly, in the industry, I've mainly worked in steel and concrete structures. So, and over here at NUST, my research is mainly uh, focused on finite element analysis. This include finite element analysis of steel and concrete structures. We do different types of modeling and try to verify our modeling by performing experiments. My office is located in Ski Building. I sit in office number 116. My mobile number is flashed in front of you. I've also got a WhatsApp on this mobile, so you can either call me on a regular, you can give me a regular call or a WhatsApp call, whichever is suitable for you guys. I'm available 9 to 5 in my office and I maintain open door policy. I always like to create a WhatsApp group which involves the whole class and myself so that if we have queries, we can discuss it. It becomes very easy to communicate our queries and then to get a response. So I would ask the CR of this class to set out a WhatsApp group and make me the administrator, please. You all could just put any query regarding this course on the WhatsApp, and I'll try to respond to it as quickly as possible. And I hope that if I ask you, give you assignment or anything on WhatsApp, so you will also respond. Now, course description. Mechanics of Solid 2 will mainly deal with computation of loads and stresses on members. You have done Mechanics of Solid 1, where you were introduced to stresses and strains. This course will go a bit deeply into stresses and strains. We'll discuss the flow of stresses in beams, columns, and how to analyze those stresses, get maximum stresses, and different ways of determining stresses, their practical implications, and so lots of interesting things will come. The objective of this course is to analyze the response of structure member under complex loading conditions and apply this stress concept to civil engineering projects. So we will do some practical uh, problems and we will try to include the concepts developed over here in our practical projects. Now, the course content of this module is shown on the screen. The first week will be introduction to combined stresses, which will include nominal, shear, um, like axial shear stresses, etc. Then we will have the second we then we'll have stresses on inclined planes. The third In the third week, we will do members subjected to nominal and shear stresses. So we will do lots of examples, which will clear the concept developed in the week 1 and 2. Week 3, in the week 3, we will also get introduced to principal stresses, principal planes, maximum shear stresses, and so on and so forth. Week 5, we'll continue with our principal stresses and try to find out our principal stresses using Mohr circle. Mohr circle will continue in week 5, where we'll do lots of examples and try to find out maximum shear and maximum axial stresses in a structure. In week 6, we will try to develop a relationship between modulus of elasticity and modulus of rigidity, a very important relationship. And this relationship will then later be used to develop some other interesting concepts like theory of elasticity and theory of failures. Week 7 and 8 would be devoted to theories of failures. These are different theories, which based on which code of practices are developed, and these maximum stress theories are based on whatever we would have done in the previous course, in the previous weeks. Then we'll move on to unsymmetrical bending. So we will try to go deeper into the flexure behavior of structure and do unsymmetrical bending. Beside that, shear centers and that sort of problems will also be discussed. Week 10 to 12 will be devoted to thin and thick walled cylinders, where we'll do circumferential and longitudinal stresses in these cylinders, stresses in shells, cylinders. This will be discussed. 13 to 16 week will be devoted to eccentrically loaded columns. You have already done concentrically loaded columns in your MOS 1. Um, this idea will be furthered developed, and we will try to do eccentrically loaded columns, where we will use the concept of combined stresses developed in the first 3 to 4 weeks. In the week 17, we will have end semester exam. Beside this, we have some practicals also. So you will have hand-on experience on different concepts like indirect determination of elasticity of composite material. You will carry out this experiment in the lab, in the mechanics lab. Then you will see how unsymmetrical bending is performed in the lab. Um, Finally, study of buckling behavior of long columns. So eccentrically, concentrically loaded columns will be discussed in another practical, and this will try to hammer in the concepts which you would develop in the class. The course objectives and outcomes are shown on the screen. This course is mainly related to analysis, and therefore the assigned PLO to it is 2, which is relating to problem analysis. And we will see that the course is mainly concerned with the analysis of stresses, strains, then after that, analysis of stresses in different structures such as columns, spherical shells, and so on and so forth. So everything revolves around the analysis of stresses. The course learning objectives is shown. We can make it a bit bigger. We have assigned 4 course learning objectives. Um, the first one is to analyze the response of flexure members subjected to complex loading conditions is mapped to PLO2. So it is related to problem analysis. The second one is to analyze the response of compression members subjected to complex loading conditions. And the compression members, they are also mapped to PLO2. Third one is to illustrate the response of spherical vessels subjected to loading. So again, um, this is the third CLO, but this is not mapped to any PLO. The fourth one is a psychomotor domain, and that is that is related to hand-on experience of different concepts. The first two CLOs are related to taxonomy level 4, so which goes as far as the analysis of a problem. This is Bloom's taxonomy level. So if you check, the taxonomy level goes as high as 4. The third one goes to taxonomy level 3, which is actually just to develop appreciation and understanding of these problems. The fourth one is again of taxonomy level 4, which mean analysis. So all these, the four taxonomy level would mean that we should be able to solve different problems, analyze it, and come up with some interpretations. So these all are mapped to PLO2, which is analysis. Now the grading policy is shown on the screen. The assignments will carry 10% of the marks, quizzes 15%, midterm 25%, and end semester exam 50%. So altogether they will make 100% of the marks. Please make sure that you try to achieve maximum in in all these items. I will take 4 to 5 quizzes, give you 4 to 5 assignments. And beside this, you will have a midterm exam and an end semester exam. Midterm exam will be in around about 6th or 7th week. So that depends. It is a bit flexible. Sometime it might go to 8th week. So it is a bit flexible. And the end semester exam is normally on the 17th week. I'll follow Mechanics of Materials by J.M. Gare. This is 7th edition or the latest one, whichever is available, that will be followed. Beside this, I normally tend to write my problems on the board. So please, whatever I write on the board, I will ask you to write it down and use it as a supplementary material. I also give PowerPoint slides and some class notes. So all three of them, my board writings and my supplementary notes and PowerPoint slides, they will help you in understanding the book. Please, I will advise you to read the book regularly. My notes are no way a substitute to the book. They are just acting as a supplement. So please keep that in mind. Reading book is important, and by reading books, you can develop very interesting concepts. So beside this textbook, I will also follow Mechanics of Materials by Hibbeler. This is another very well-known book, and we will do some problems from the Hibbeler. Okay, so this is all about whatever I have to say, but before we close the meeting, I think so it would make sense that we start formally our class with the definition of mechanics. What is mechanics? Why do we study it? That is the question which should come up on this very first day, and let us try to answer that. So mechanics is actually the study of how things work. So let me write first of all mechanics. Mechanics. So mechanics tells us how things work. So imagine we have a beam which is supported at 2 points and we apply some loading onto it. The mechanics will actually tell us how this load will flow through the beam and come to the support. So how this structure will work, how will it perform its intended use? That is mechanics. Another thing which is important is structure analysis. Structure analysis tells us under the applied load, how could we determine the reactions? How could we draw bending moment and shear force diagrams? How can we determine deflections? So that is a sort of a global response of a structure. In in mechanics, we actually go a bit deeper into the force flow, the flow of force or stresses within a structure, how this beam is able to transfer the load to the support. This beam, which is made up of many atoms or molecules, how these molecules transfer the load and bring it to the support. So that all study is actually covered by mechanics. So mechanics within the context of civil engineering is dealing with statics and dynamics. You have done engineering mechanics, so statics and dynamics, they both are related to mechanics. So let us write rigid, so that those were rigid body mechanics. Let me write it in a short form. So this includes both statics and dynamics. Then we have mechanics of deformable bodies. So whatever we did in mechanics of solid one and whatever we do now, they are actually they belong to mechanics of deformable bodies. Then we have an advanced topic of mechanics, which is continuum mechanics, and this is continuum mechanics is an advanced form of mechanics of solid. This is taught to postgraduate students, and this makes the basis of finite element analysis. So finally, finite FE analysis is also FE analysis is also derived from continuum mechanics. So in the continuum mechanics, what we do is we develop solutions, closed form solutions, in other words, for different problems. And then those closed form solutions are approximated and we come up with FE analysis. So approximation of the equations which we derive either in continuum mechanics or in mechanics of deformable bodies, the approximation of them is called FE analysis. So a subtle difference between mechanics and structure exists. As I said, structure is actually the response of the global member. So a structure, which is a combination of different components, mm, subjected to some loading, and structure analysis actually is dealing with the analysis of a structure. In other words, analyzing what the reactions are applied, what the moments and shears are, what the deformation is, sorry, deflection is, the rotations and that sort of stuff. So it is mainly related to something which is external. So let me, structure analysis deals with something which lies over here, external. So the reactions are external, the deformation is external, it lies in this red area. The rotation is external. The mechanics, on other hand, deals with everything which is in the boundary, this blue boundary. So how the loads are getting transferred from here to here. What does at a particular point, how to find out a stress. Then at a particular point, how much is the maximum stress? And corresponding to stress, how much is the strain? How the stress is related to strain. So material properties. These are all fundamental components of mechanics, and we will study them in greater detail. So this is what mechanics is. And if you have any question, you can ask me. I've given you my details. And hopefully from the next class, we will start with our new topic, which will be related to mechanics. Thank you very much.